No, good afternoon, everyone. Glad to see you out here. We have some old names and new faces joining us today. We appreciate all who attend. This one will be a little different today. I've been reading a book called Virtual Selling by a guy named Jeb Blunt. He's a sales trainer that I tend to read a lot of his content. And he's got a book about selling in the new age, the post-COVID timeframe, in which he's teaching how to sell virtually. That a lot of our sales are now being done via Zoom, via a telephone, a not in-person type of sales approach. And he's encouraging people to get more comfortable with video. So that's why I'm practicing more and more of my video skills. It's more than just putting on a collared shirt, shaving, and looking good. There's more to it. It's learning how to look directly at the camera, which is on mine is just a little green dot. So I have a tendency to glance away and look at the different monitors I have. This is something that I'm having to train myself to do. Something that you might want to consider on your end is how to learn how to sell in a virtual world, because the face-to-face and belly-to-belly is just not the most common method for a lot of us. I know a lot of you still do. Kudos to you if you can still do that. For our company, the majority, if not all of our training is done via Zoom. So I'm trying to get better at the virtual aspects of that. So if you will, I'm going to practice on you today. I've finally turned on the camera on my end so that you can actually get a look at the face to go with the voice that you've been hearing for the last 4 years. So let's get into it. Last week, our training was on how to easily create a database by doing the copy paste, exporting from one, importing to another via Excel. We went through that. It has caused a lot of conversations, if you will, in the channel. We've had a lot of questions this week about building databases and how to build that database and what to do with it. So we're going to continue that frame of thought this week, and that we're going to take I'm going to sign on to my account. We're going to actually create a database, the shell of the database, the basics of that using the wizard, and then expand and improve upon that by then opening up the back office of that and showing you some of the key points of creating a database from scratch. We're also going to explain to you how you can take this and make it your database, your demo database for your company, and then invite salespeople. So you can have one database that is your database for your company, and by inviting your salespeople to come in as users, you can then have one database. Everybody uses that same database just on their own individual iPad. They don't all have to have their own database. They can all share your one common database. Now, this will allow you to have multiple hands creating this database, so it needs to be managed somewhat to keep it under control. But don't hesitate to do it this way and then experiment. It's really quite simple. So what you're looking at on screen here, oh, and by the way, I have people in the chat who are going to monitor the chat as always. With me so focused on this video portion, I'm not going to have time to really glance much at the chat, even though you will see from time to time, I've got a monitor over here on this side. I've got a big monitor here in front of me. I've got my iPad down below. So my eyes are going to flow to different points. It's not that I'm not paying attention to you. It's the fact that I've got so much on my desk going on. I need to shift my focus from time to time. So what you're looking at on screen, this is my physical iPad. It is sitting here in front of me. And this is the account creation tool. So you will then, at this point, you're going to put in your email or mobile phone, your store name. You do have to have some kind of store name. This can be your dealership name, if you will. Then you have the password, and then retype that password so that you can then make sure and confirm that, and then sign up. You can sign in with your Apple ID or with your Facebook ID. I don't do that. traditionally, that's just not me. I'll go ahead and I'll create my own account. Once you do that, you then will go into the next screen. Now, I'm going to sign in with my current account. Now, these are the stores that I've already got created. What you're going to do is come down to the blue button where it says view a demo or create my store. If you do the view the demos, you're going to see the demo databases that are downloaded with your Apple from the Apple Store. These are great for little brief demos, easy demos, but you are not able to get to the back office. You're not able to get to the back office on any of these. So if you're just wanting to show point of sale, that's fine. If you're wanting to get into the back office and the details of it, none of these 16 allow you to do that. They're all locked. So if you want to show that, you're going to have to come down to the bottom where it says create my store. So let's do that. Now, doing this live is always fun. There's always mistakes. So don't hate on me for if I hit the wrong button or make a mistake. All right, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to assign this this actual iPad a device number. And you see you have all the different numbers on the screen. You can scroll up or down to get to whatever number you wish. Now, you do have on the left a numbering scheme. So if you were in the mindset of an installer, I used to use my terminals as 0 to 100 or 1 to 100. And then I would move into other devices and I would have maybe my KDSs be in the 200s or my kiosk in the 300s. I would separate them out like that so that I could easily find them. So I would normally put just my point of sale devices in that 1 to 100 range, and then separate those other devices in those other categories or other number runs. You do what you wish. That's my recommendation, is to keep them separate. Now, on the left-hand side, now we've now entered the wizard, the programming wizard that allows you to create the basics and the shell of that database. You'll notice on the left where it says general items, staff, those have a red exclamation point. That means you've not completed that portion of the wizard. So let's go ahead and do that. Required is a store name, so whatever you want to call it. I'm going to just do just Jerry's New Restaurant. Whatever name you give it, that is the name that will stick. Below that, you're seeing that's the address. Now that address is where the iPad is located. So if you're doing this from your home and you're setting this up for a restaurant, you'll need to override that and put in the correct address. But that's the address location of the iPad that you're dealing with. The default is the telephone number. That is the phone number of my account. So it knew that when I logged in. Next is the web address of the restaurant. And then email. This will be the main email for the restaurant. If it's the owner, fine. If it's info@restaurantname.com, that's whatever. This is the actual email where for this restaurant. I'm going to put my work email. Oop. Now, I think I mentioned to you when you do it live, you have the chance of entering the wrong or hitting a number wrong, hitting a letter wrong. All right, that looks better. All right, tax rate, that is the tax rate that where you're located, where this is, it is required. Discount, go ahead and just put in a single discount. Let's don't get too crazy yet. You'll add more discounts later. Now, here's where we're going to start setting some flags. So we're going to choose the industry. So here I'm choosing restaurant, but you have service and retail. By selecting these, you are now going to start checking boxes and setting flags. So when I choose restaurant, it is now deselected some of the retail and then pre-selected some of the restaurant things. Next is the category. What type of restaurant are you dealing with? This also helps narrow down the specific features and flags that are being turned on. I'm going to do quick service. And then cuisine, more of the items are going, or more of the flags are going to be set. The last one is style. In this case, we don't have any other, so we just have other, and that is now completed. We've now completed all the items on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, if you look at the top left, it says general, got a green checkbox. We're able now to move on. We've satisfied all the criteria in that first section. Under items, the only item that's defaulted is a category group of beverage and water. You can put a price in of water. It's just a big fat 0, and then move on from there. The way you would then add a group is you touch the blue or cross or blue plus mark under beverage, and then you would add another group. I'm going to add more items in the beverage category, so I'm going to touch that blue plus sign. In this case, I'm going to start adding items. Now, I'm not going to type. I'm going to use the voice to text feature on my iPad. Coke. That's all you have to do. Then put a price. Diet Coke. Sprite. Mr. Pibb. As you can see, it's very fast to add items using the voice to text feature. Let's add a group name here. Sandwiches. Side items. Let's add some sandwiches. Hamburger. Cheeseburger. Chicken sandwich. Ham and cheese. That looks good. Let's just stop it there. Now, under side items, I'm going to add steak fries. Onion rings. Coleslaw. Potato salad. So now I've added all these items. I've priced them. I've got them in their different categories. We've got enough now that we could ring up. But let's go back up here and make sure we've got Coke. There's our prices. We got our drinks. We've got our sandwiches placed in, and we have some side items. So we've got a basic menu that have been plugged in. I've got a green check mark by our items category. So let's move down to staff. You see it defaults to the owner, the name that you have put in. So I'm just going to add a passcode so that we're now, I've got 3 check marks. I've got the highest access on my account. I can add other employees at this point if I wish, but I don't have to. Items are set. All my categories and all my basic information is done. At this point, there's nothing left else to just build the store. So I'm going to touch that green button on the left where it says build store now. And now it's taking the data that I've entered into the system and actually building a store online. This does take a few seconds, but it's really not that much time to wait. All right, we now have a store. On top left, you'll see where it says play tutorial. If you wish to watch the videos that we have for each of these screens, you're welcome to do so. This is really for a really new user that can then walk them through, but you press play tutorial, and you're going to get a little pop-up that's going to play a video that's about that screen. It's going to talk about what is that screen. This particular one's about 15-20 seconds long. The little orange button that says click here, you want to click that. And here is the manager pop-up area. You can hide the tutorial videos by simply touching that. Now you won't see any more of those. But you can also come here and then set up your hardware. So if you've plugged in the printers to the system, the certified printers that we have will auto recognize in the network and pop up here. And you're able then to select the printer for receipts and kitchen if you wish. Down at the bottom, if you see there's a kitchen display. If you go back on the screen on the bottom, it says scan QR code. If you have downloaded the Adelo KDS on a different iPad, you then bring that app up on that other iPad, scan it with the QR code, and then complete the programming here. The last step is to go down to the bottom and just activate the kitchen display. So we have none, so we're not going to get that. That's what you do with the little 3 bars at the top. Now you saw me enter my passcode is 111. So let's open up the system and see what it looks like. It's going to ask me to clock in, obviously. So now I'm on the clock. Now here's the basic screen that you're looking at. This should not be a surprise to you. Everything is the same as it always is. If I want to ring up, I can just touch new order, dine in, and the default is number of guests. There are the drinks that I put in. There are the sandwiches I put in. And don't panic about that R on the hamburger. We're going to show you how to fix that. And then the side items. So everything that I entered by voice to text is now entered into the system and is able to be rung up. All I would have to do is sign in a cashier, and I'm able to ring orders. So the system works. So we were able to get it from 0 to working in, let's see, just a very few minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I just was glancing at the clock. So if I want to, at this point now, we are able to ring up items. But if you want to carry it further, as in do some more custom database management, you can do that with an iPad. You do not have to have a back office PC or another PC or any other device. It can all be done from the iPad. So I'm going to do that now by touching the top left button and then touching the manager. And this takes me then to the back office on the iPad. No other device is needed. And you'll notice I've got all my different databases here. This is another view of that. So if I want to now, I want to go to Jerry's new restaurant. Just going to touch that. And yes, I'm going to pop that up. And now I'm able to program and customize this particular database. Let's go into the products area, and I'll show you what we've got there. There's the categories down the left and the items on the right. So we're able now to customize all of these. Under settings, I'm going to do some configuration settings here to actually configure this as a quick service a little bit better. We're going to tweak it just a tad. So under Pos Config, you'll have some options here that you can go through and change the way things work on the system. Up to here's the languages and what have you. This particular device, I'm going to set up under device config. I am device 1. Default new order type. I'm going to default that to dine in. Default dine in table group. Well, we're not dealing with tables, so I'm not going to do anything. Enable repetitive order entry. I want that so that when I enter, I tender this and enter my cash drawer pops open, receipt is handled. I go right back into point of sale. That's repetitive order entry. So what do I want it to do? I want it to go to the new order screen. I want everything going to the new order screen. Under POS config, prompt, third line down, prompt guest count on all order types. I don't want that. I want that guest count to be just something I would enter manually. So I'm going to set that to no. And let's see. There it is. This is one here that is show expanded menu items view. It's to yes. I'm going to set that to no. And when I do that, at the point of sale, it enlarges the buttons. Now that R in hamburger went away. It's on the same line. Now I'm going to fix the cheeseburger a different way. I'm going to actually put a space in there and make it 2 words. But that's how you can make the buttons a little bit larger and allow a little bit more text going horizontal. Something else that I want to do. POS auto login digits. I like to set that to, in this case, 3. What I want to do is then allows me at the point of sale, I don't have to hit enter. So now instead of going 111 enter, I just do 111. That takes you right into it. So you can see now we've got it not only a small database built, but you now also have some customizations. I'm not having to enter the type of order as in dine in or to go. I can always change that by touching the dine in at the top and choose a different type order type, but it's going to default to dine in. And then when I ring up, it's going to go right back into the point of sale. I don't have to log back in. So now I've really created a true quick service demo. And I've also shown you how you can take that and change it to, by just flipping these flags, to a table service. You can have a guest count be required. It can be choose your type of order type. You can have those things. So by just taking the flags off that I've just set here. So let's go back into the back office. Let's go into the products area and do some more customization here. Now you can add modifiers using the quick add modifier routine. You can use the quick add item if you want to add additional items. Now in this case, you can add an item, you'll see it's in the beverage category, or you can add it to the sandwich or the sides. I'm not going to really add anything else under the main items of this, but I am going to go in and I'm going to add some modifiers. So let's go into sandwiches, or actually go to beverages. Let's do those first. Under Coke, I want to put in some sizes. Now you'll notice here I have a report category. This is a good place if you want to start building some custom reports or some more detailed reports. You can at this point add a new category and have it just be new category name, sodas. Separate that out from the other type of beverages. You can choose the button color, and it can be the basic colors, or if you touch more, you can really get into some wild colors. And just tell you what, I'll expand it a little bit. So you can see we can get into some very unique colors doing it this way. And what it's done is it put the hexadecimal color code into the button color. And it's going to be that bluish green color. You can also add a button picture and a detail picture. Not going to do that in this demo. Those are covered in other videos on how we do that. You see the unit price at $250 It is discountable. It is under the item class of prepared food. None of that needs to be changed. Let's click here and now get into some, in this case, forced modifiers. I'm going to choose or make them choose the color, the size that I want them to have. So you can do it as a forced modifier or an advanced modifier, whichever place you want to stick it. In this case, add new modifier template. And we're going to turn that on. And now we're able to enter a, in this case, a group name. All right, so we've got now a modifier group. The default action, none selected. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to be, these are the no add onlys and stuff. Not going to do that here. You do have a minimum selection. I'm going to force them to choose one and a maximum of one. So now they have a min max. So they're forced to choose one and they're no more than one. They can't choose a medium and a small. So add new. In this case, I'm going to add the base modifier. It's going to be created new. The new modifier name is small. I'm not going to choose any of these extra, no extra, only add things. I'm just going to let it be that. And then the price, I'm going to make the price here. So I had a price of $2.50 on sodas. I'm going to override it with this price. So now I've got sodas sizes and I have a small. I can choose add new and bring in base price. So now small, medium, let's do one more. So now I've got small, medium, and large in my options. I'm going to leave it at that and hit save. So now that is now saved as soda sizes on, I did that on the Coke. So let's go to Diet Coke, scroll down. Tell you what, let's back up. Let's do one more thing on Coke. I've got a hexadecimal color code for button color. Let's copy that. And then go play with that on the other items. So Diet Coke. Come over here to button color and just paste that. And you'll get the exact same color no matter how off color it is. Whatever you chose on the first button is now going to be the same color code. So that hexadecimal code is critical as far as getting the right specific color. Let's go to advanced modifiers here and choose soda sizes. Save, and now that is the same. Yeah, paste that color again. Whatever color that is, I don't know what you call it, but you're going to get it. All right, something that I did not do here that I think I should is delete the price, because now I've got the prices as the modifiers. Now, I'm sure Jeff's over in the corner cringing because there is a shorter way to do this, but not to fear. I want to show you that. So now we have these 4 drinks, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got them all 4 programmed the same. But what if I want to just add a new item to this? And I've got all these programs with all their modifiers and all the special routing. What if I wanted to add a new item? I just simply hit add new item and then choose the item that I want to duplicate. And now we have it. It's going to duplicate everything that we had before except for the name. Even the soda sizes are there. So everything is the same. I just copied that from another item that's identical. So now I have all the drinks done. Sandwiches are programmed pretty much the same. If you want to do an advanced modifier, such as or a force modifier for temperatures for the hamburger and the cheeseburger, you can do that. I'm going to go in here and actually kind of fix the spelling or put a space in here and see if that fixes that wrapping problem that we had. All right, who's willing to go with me and take a chance and see if I got this right? Well, look at there, the color's already changed, so that updated. We now know that that works. Coke, and there's my sizes that are forced now. Prices are correct. Makes that real easy. But what if I wanted to do the size first, go small and then Coke? It's the same thing. You would just have a button here called small, and then underneath that would be the flavors. So you could just reverse this easily. It's just a matter of the flow. How do you want the flow? Do you want to be Coke small, or do you want to be small and then Coke? Your choice. Sandwiches. Oh, look at there. I fixed the cheeseburger. Let's see if I got hamburger, cheeseburger, chicken. Yep, all that's working now. And yep, I'm taking cash. We're good. You've seen it now. Now it's just a matter of duplicating what you just learned over and over again. So the modifiers are done in the back office. You can do the shell of the database in the front of house on the actual iPad, and then just modify and customize it in the back office. That's it. That's all I'm going to show, because that's all there really is to it. If you were doing this for your own company and you wanted your own company database, then you would probably go down the left side. Beverages are probably the same beverages no matter what database. So you could have a beverage database or a beverage items for every database you have. But down the left, I would have a pizza category. So if I were showing a pizza restaurant, I would have a pizza category. Sandwiches covers burgers, as well as you could do subs down that under that category. But I hope you're seeing what I'm saying is you could have a different category down the side for every style of restaurant that you're going into. You don't have to have a pizza demo. You can have one demo that has a pizza category that allows you to still show the same item and utilize the beverages you use on every restaurant. So be thinking of it from that way. And when you're done and you come over to the back office, then that's where you add in or put in your managers, your users. Come to your store, open up the store under config and add in your users. So here, adding in your users would then be your salespeople. They would then have access to this database, whether you give them the highest access or some level below that. You may not want them modifying or adding items. You may not want that. If you do give them that access, I would warn you and caution you to then have some level of input as to what items they're adding. We've had some databases really ruined by salespeople who have gone in and tried to customize thought they knew what they were doing and actually butchered the original core database. That is why those 16 databases that come with the app, you're not able to change, because we've learned our lesson there. You, however, can create your own store, and then you can give or not give that type of access to your employees. That's your choice. But that's really, that's it. We think we have a easy database to work with. We have an easy configuration tool to get you started, and an easy back office that allows you to customize it. I highly encourage you to look at this video over and over again. Stop it, rewind, look at it, get comfortable with it, and create your own personalized database, demo database for your operation. All right, Jeff, what you got, bud?
Actually, you answered everybody's questions. The big one was, how do you fix the wood wrapping on the cheeseburger? That came up out there. We did have somebody ask, hey, what if somebody walks up to your iPad, you've signed in under one number, what happens? Well, the system actually has auto logout seconds. We've conveniently turned those off for Gary. But there's auto logout seconds that you can set and decide what time frame it's going to be. And that way, when somebody walks away from it after X number of seconds of inactivity, it will automatically log them out. You're able to determine what you want there. I'm one of these people, I like 10 seconds. That's a very short period of time. I've had, dealers want to put 99 seconds in there, and you absolutely can do that. Have a good time. It's right there in the back office. You just see point of sale config and the second line there from the top on the general tab. So really easy there.
What I'm looking for now is for you guys to create your own store, to then go through and have your salespeople help you with this, maybe assign each of them a category to then put into the system so that they can learn it themselves. That's the best way to do it. And then if they screw it up, you can always go back in to the system and actually deactivate the item. If they put in a bad item, you can come down here and delete it permanently, or is it discontinued? So you can get rid of it as long as you've not rung any sales into it. You can delete it as long as there's been no sales rung. If there has, you can just discontinue it and it disappears from the screen.
And somebody's asking how many colors are available. The short answer is millions.
It's infinite, really. I say infinite, there is a number.
Yeah, it's all of the colors possibly supported by Apple.
Yeah.
So their Apple's definition just says millions. They don't tell us exactly how many they're there, but they say millions.
You're looking on the screen. You see that wacky number with the pound sign and then 0 EEAF0? That's a number. It's in hexadecimal. And that is a number scheme that is 0 to 16. F is 16. So to read that is a huge, huge number. And each number is assigned a color. So in this case, that number is that wacky color right there. That's why they're able to have more than 16 colors. They have that kind of numbering scheme. I used to know how to read that. I just know what it is now.
Every 2 digits is a color, is a different color. First 2 are hue, second 2, I can do it.
I don't want to.
You don't want to deal with it. Not fun. Doug is asking, how do you duplicate an item over and have it be a different price? It's exactly what you just said, Doug. You duplicate it over and you change the price.
That's it.
And I would put it in a different group. I would have a lunch group and a dinner group. I would also schedule my groups if you're going to do that kind of thing so that my lunch group isn't available during my dinner time and my dinner groups aren't available during my lunchtime. That makes it a lot easier to manage. But that's, it's exactly what you just said. You duplicate it over, change the name. They can't be exactly the same name. And you're going to have one in your dinner menu group and one in your lunch menu group. So yeah, it's changing the groups is just a drop down. You can see there he's got product group, and you can just change the product group right there in the drop down. Piece of cake.
Yeah, it depends on how fancy you want to get, but you can even go under report category and have lunch menu or lunch as a report category and dinner as another report category.
Yeah.
So don't forget about those type of settings as well. There's a question about the button size for the menu. Where it says button picture, there is a size there. I think it's 50K.
It's right on your screen. If you click on the little question mark.
Question mark. Yeah, 100 kilobytes.
So
I have a little program that I use that I bring in the picture that I want, and then I have a resize option. And I put it in the size that I want it to resize to, and it automatically takes it to that size.
Yeah. And Apple products do that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, he's actually talking about Doug's question where Doug's going, hey, how do I duplicate an item over from $8.95 and make it $10.95 for dinner? That's actually a very good suggestion. You can have use the advanced pricing option. And instead of duplicating the item, you simply set the advanced price for it. And this is also, this is one of the nice parts about the flexibility of the software is you can go in here and set this and go, okay, here's going to be that price during this time. And that is an excellent suggestion that you can do. This is an excellent use of this feature and is exactly what it's designed for.
Yeah, you can choose the day of the week. You can choose then the from time to to time. And is it a unit price or a percentage price? You can make that change right here. Set that up one time, and the system will then handle that from then on. It'll just change the price at that time, and then change it back when you're done.
One of the cool parts is you can schedule that price change to happen every day at noon, and have it for your lunch menu, and then have it every day at 3 o'clock. It changes to the dinner menu price. Yeah, they can easily do that. So, and then Nick's asking, does your software do batch conversions? I'm not exactly sure what you're looking at for a batch conversion, Nick.
I think I know what he wants.
There you go. We got a master.
All right. Global price updates, where we can choose a whole category of items, a group of items. You can select which ones you want of that group, or you can choose the entire group. You can then go up or down by percentage or by a specific amount, or you can set it for a certain dollar amount. So this is a group of items. So you would select, is it all my beverages? If so, it would be all of your beverages will be selected. And they're all selected as yes. So if I don't want to upcharge my tea and water, I've now selected the items that I want to charge a different price for. And you can see I can do a default price, a dine-in price, bar price, takeout, whatever your order types are would be then to the right of that. But you can then set the default price at whatever you want. It can be there's your default pricing. Is it an increase or decrease by percentage or by amount? And then the price update amount. I think that's what you're looking for.
And Herb's asking, will the database from Audello Pro migrate to Aldelo Express? Will it fit without modifications? Yes, you can migrate from Audello POS Pro to Aldelo Express. Will it fit without modifications? I don't know exactly what you're looking at, but it will bring over your basic setup data. It will bring up your menu items, your modifiers, your employees. All that information comes over. There may be some features and stuff, like it's not going to map your printers over because you're probably not going to be using the same printers. It's not going to be doing those things. But yeah, right here in the back, I think Jerry's going for it. You just hit create store. There's a tool on our website. You download it, you put it on the computer that has the Audello POS database on it. You click one button, it extracts a file for you. You come here, you say create new store, and there's a button that says import from Aldelo POS. You upload that file. Takes about 30 seconds to import that file, and it's done. You have a new point of sale system. You basically got to give your store a name and fill in a few things, but it fills in most everything for you, and it does bring over all your items. But Jerry, I think you got all the questions.
Okay. Sounds like a winner to me. Okay, guys. Well, then I wish you all the best for the next week. And you guys, this is a parting suggestion. Y'all go get you a self-help book. Start reading and studying on your own and improving yourself. I got a couple I'm doing right now. I mentioned virtual selling is the topic that I'm studying right now. Get some self-help sales books. It'll do you good. It'll help you out there. Otherwise, we'll catch you next Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern. Thank you.